Hello, this is my review on a movie. There's this is I forget what I'm reviewing. I remember now. Avengers: Age of Ultron. I'm giving this a 10 out of 10, like the first Avengers movie. Yeah. You said something, Dan?
No, I didn't say anything.
So I'm just hearing stuff in my head again, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Shut up, voices. I'm trying to focus. I give Avengers Age of Ultron, even though it's a 10 out of 10, I don't think it's as good as the first Avengers movie from 2012. But I still think it's still a pretty good movie, a 10 out of 10. Avengers Age of Ultron. Man, this time the Avengers are facing Ultron due to the meddling of Tony Stark, meddling with science and meddling with the Tesseract and trying to make a better tomorrow, only to have it blow up all in his face, and the Avengers have to clean up his mess and assemble and stop the day from everyone. They just gotta stop basically the entire world from annihilation again. This time it's from an AI called Ultron instead of Loki, Loki, which was the dilemma which they had to stop last time. This time it's this AI, this Ultron, that has the personality of Tony Stark, but Tony Stark, it was too similar to Tony's. He's very similar to Tony Stark, Ultron's personality. And things like in terms of thinking, in terms of behavior, he's very similar to Tony. But he's Tony in a cracked mirror, basically, because he's his Ultron's like, well, tries to basically destroy the human race. And destroy the Avengers first. To create peace or something, or his version of peace, I guess. It's by just taking over shit. So, uh, that's why I give it a 10 out of 10. And another reason why we give this a 10 out of 10 is because I like the fact that this continued this another story with my Avengers that I enjoyed from the first one. See, my problem, I think, with Avengers Infinity War and Endgame is that my problem with them is they feel more like a reboot, like a high reboot, with the same names of the Avengers characters, but they're way too radically reimagined, unrecognizable, and there's no explanation why there's such a shift and change in the character personalities changes. Once we get to Infinity War and beyond that. They don't feel like the Avengers anymore once they get to Infinity War and Endgame, I felt like. Well, at least not like this universe Avengers, or that I'm used to. They just suck in Infinity War and also in Endgame, I thought. Most of them. Not saying all of them. Like, for example, like we got Captain America got better as time went on, I thought. Steve Rogers, Captain America, was one of the ones that I thought got better as time went on, and also I think he got better by the time we got to end. He got better and better written, and by the time we get to the Avengers Endgame, he was really good. And he was probably I think the reason why I like him the most, why I always like him, why he's seasoned. I think Steve Rogers, one of the characters, always improved because he always well, they keep on doing their best to incorporate make him act like more and more like Captain America from the comics, and I appreciate that they want him to be more like Captain America from the comics and more serious and patriotic and doing the right thing, and so I appreciate that got better with Captain America as time went on. I just wish the whole Avengers team suffered that treatment of Captain America did. I mean, I wish the Avengers had that level of treatment that Captain America and Steve Rogers did. All of the Avengers, not just Steve Rogers. No, it's like I can only see Steve Rogers one time. But for example, so once we get to Avengers Endgame, I mean Infinity War, how many characters do I stop caring about? Besides Hulk and Bruce Banner, and as I can't count them as separate characters in the Marvel universe, and so I stopped caring about them by that point. And in Infinity War, and also Spider-Man, I stopped caring about, and also I think who else I stopped caring about? Spider-Man, Peter Parker, Spider-Man. I stopped caring about. Although I still like and also I stopped caring about. I really didn't really care for Black Widow in Infinity War or Endgame. I didn't care for her. I thought they were boring characters. The ones I stopped caring for, they were boring and uninteresting, and there was no energy coming off of them. They just looked like they were suicidal and looked like they didn't want to be here. So that's what the characters give that personation, always energy coming off of. Like they're all depressed and don't want to be in the movie character. Oh, yippee, just like something fun. Bet you want to see an Avengers movie, right? And that's the kind of problem. Most of the characters, by Infinity War, we also have Doctor Strange, who I hated. Didn't care for him. And also Falcon, can't say I really cared for him. Or Rhodey, also known as War Machine. or Bucky. Well, I guess Bucky was okay. Also known as the Winter Soldier. I guess I liked him. But there was so much crap characters. And that didn't make sense. That doesn't really make sense to be in here. The Guardians were nice to be in that movie of Avengers: Infinity War. I like them in Infinity War. And I like Thor, actually, in Infinity War. A lot. Thor was the most interesting and complex that he's been since the first Thor movie in the new, and I actually argue that Infinity War feels like a really good Thor movie, even more so than the first Thor movie, and Thor: The Dark World too. So I think Infinity War is a better Thor. Is a fantastic, wonderful, solid 10 out of 10 of a Thor movie. If it was just titled Thor, if it was titled Thor, and the movie was titled Thor: Infinity War instead of Avengers: Infinity War, because seeing that Thor's mostly the main character makes sense. I thought, and Thor is the most complex and interesting by the time we get to the end of Infinity War movie. By the time it wraps up. But anyway, so as an Avengers movie, I don't think I like it though. Really. The Infinity War movie. Or the sequel. I like parts of it, but I don't know if I really like the movie. But now Age of Ultron, on the other hand, in the first Avengers movie, I like a lot. Well, the sequels to the Avengers: Infinity War, and also the sequel, the final one, Endgame, was this version of the Avengers. They don't feel like the same Avengers once we get to the Infinity War, with the characters that does continue outside of Thor and Captain America that I'm still liking. I mean, I was kind of off. I kind of grew out of Thor once. I kind of grew. I kind of grew out of not Thor. I meant Hulk once Ragnarok came out. Once Ragnarok, I kind of grew out of Hulk since Ragnarok, and the Infinity War movie, and also Endgame just makes me grow out even more of Hulk and Banner persona more, and makes me feel like not giving a shit about them more so than I did before. Once I saw it in Thor Ragnarok and beyond that. Now I will say I think a lot of people have made arguments about the Age of Ultron being the same movie as the first Avengers movie. And if you watch the commentary of the first two Avengers movie, you know that Joss Whedon, at least with Age of Ultron and the first Avengers, he doesn't see this. At least with Age of Ultron, if you watch the commentary to Age of Ultron, he thinks he made a completely different movie that was that was a different premise than the first Avengers movie, even though he doesn't remember at all his first movie and how it turned out, and didn't want to watch it before and taking and just and not and taking and making sure he doesn't He don't want to watch it, rewatch his first Avengers movie. He's on the commentary because he thinks, well, he wants to do more original stuff with the sequel. And by doing the same thing with a different villain, I think. With a similar agenda. But instead of bringing the Avengers together at this time, it's basically this continuing the story of the Avengers already assembled. And being active, and then so it's similar, but I don't think it's identical to the first Avengers movie. Because seeing it's made by Joss Whedon, I think it's a fucking brilliant movie. Giving Joss Whedon's, because I don't think Joss Whedon's, is probably the most knowledgeable person when it comes to making an Avengers movie. I mean, he's not an idiot like the Russo brothers are. With the Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Because they don't know how to, like, make everyone look confident and cool of every Avengers member, including the Hulk. Whedon knew how to do that. He knew how to make every Avengers member look cool and confident, even if they were just going to have a very out of nowhere death scene. Like Quicksilver in the Avengers Age of Ultron movie. His quick death scene was out of nowhere. But they made him more. I think that he, more than anything that the Russo brothers have done with the Avengers, in the long run with the Avengers character, once we got to an Avengers Infinity War and beyond that. And that's why I don't really like Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Don't really like them. I like certain parts of them, but I don't like them as a whole, I guess. But Avengers Age of Ultron, the first Avengers film, I love, I decided. I give them both a 10 out of 10. The first two ones of the Avengers movie. Especially Avengers Age of Ultron, which is the one I'm reviewing. I give Avengers Age of Ultron a 10 out of 10. I love the voice acting that does Ultron. I forget what the actor's name is, and I love the cast. Everyone does a great job in both movies. I think Avengers Age of Ultron is the best Avengers sequel we probably could have got from Joss Whedon. That was under his vision. Okay, so I love Avengers Age of Ultron. 10 out of 10 for me. And subscribe. Hit the subscribe button subscribe by hitting the bell, then hit the subscribe second after hitting the bell first. And then hit the thumbs up if you like this. Also hit the thumbs up if you like this content of my video. Goodbye.